What's going on, everybody? It's Sasha, your market expert here in Charlotte. Welcome back to the channel and welcome back for another monthly Q&A that we do on the first Thursday of each month. Happy March. It's almost springtime, which I'm very excited about. And the weather this year has absolutely been insane. We essentially didn't even have a winter here in Charlotte. Literally, probably had about 3 weeks where it was cold. During the nighttime, we had single actual digits near Christmas time. So we all had to take, the precautions and things like that so your pipes don't burst. But very, very extremely mild winter this year. I don't know what the hell's going on. And an absolute ton of rain that we've been having. If you're in the market looking at a house, if the house has a crawl space, more likely than not, you're gonna have elevated moisture levels in the crawl space with the insane amount of rain that we've been having. But I'm hoping this is not gonna continue. And as we get into spring and summer, we might even see a dry season. So we'll see, but an insane amount of rain this year. It's been absolutely crazy. But welcome back to the channel. Follow me on Instagram at QC Home Group. I announce these lives. I put them on my live and things like that. And I'm looking to spice up a couple things and do a couple more things on my Instagram as well. Little short clips like my market reports in a minute. So if you're somebody that wants to grab that information, get in and get out, feel free to follow me on Instagram. I'll follow you back. I get a lot of robots and all that stuff following me, so sometimes I don't. But if you're a real person, I'll follow you back. And as always, if there's anything I could ever do for you, any questions you have for me, call, text, or email me anytime. All my contact information is right here and linked down below. And just reach out to me. And if you're on this live right now, any and all questions that you have, just please let me know. So after I do this live, I usually re-upload it after I cut out all the dull moments and things like that. So you can look back at this and or share it with somebody that you know might need it. A lot of good information, a lot of good questions from other people that are potentially in the same situation that you are, moving from out of state. So there's a ton of questions that I answer on here that sometimes people that are watching don't even think about. So it's honestly extremely valuable. So I'm so excited that I'm doing these lives for you because I know a lot of people are nervous or hesitant to reach out to me or don't want to call me or something like that, which is totally fine. So having this live is the time to do it. Um, if you have any questions at all, drop them in the comment section now, and I will answer them live. Other than that, what I'm going to be doing here is I'm going to go into the comment section of some of my other videos and answer some of those questions for you. It's on my last live Q&A, Jacqueline Dyer said, have you noticed that most nice houses in great neighborhoods are going for over asking with multiple offers? Seems crazy to me and hard to jump into this market. So if you've watched the last market report, I've been so surprised at the way January started. January started off with a boom. I've seen a ton of houses with multiple offers. There's even a couple properties that I've looked at just to look at because I'm keeping up with the market that are in the $1 million+ range. And those houses have been selling relatively quickly. Obviously, it depends. It's not every house. But yeah, I was not expecting to see this kind of burst of multiple offers that we've been having lately. But again, those kind of first 3 weeks in January where we were having the multiple offers, the rates had dipped down below 6%. They were in, the 5.7, 5.8, but now they're back up over 7%. And I'm talking about they're like 7.1, and that's with a really, really good credit score. So I think we had that blip where a lot of people were just jumping into the market because the rates hit under 6%, and it was a good little chance to do it if you already pre-approved and you found something, because the inventory has doubled from what it was last year. But I do think it's going to calm back down because we're in the low sevens, and that's with like a really good credit score. You're in the low 7% interest rate if your credit score is like 720 plus, which is crazy. You know what I mean? But I mean, overall, prices have been coming down. They're down 6% from our all-time highs. So I am seeing a lot of multiple offers. And Like I said in my market report, a lot of sellers are starting to price the houses a lot more aggressively. I'm seeing it in my neighborhood as well. Houses that are priced aggressively, they're going to be the ones that bring in a lot of traffic that get to that multiple offer situation. But the new normal is going to be, more days on market for the houses, which tends to mean that it's better for buyers. But again, sellers that are taking advantage of it, they know about the high rates, they know about the prices, they're pricing their houses aggressively, and that's why we're seeing some of the multiple offers. I'm still sticking to my guns. I can't quite jump ship yet. I still see the prices coming down, not crashing. I just see them coming down 10 to 20% from their all-time highs. And I still do see inventory potentially doubling by the time summer comes. We're at 1.5 months of inventory now. I see it potentially going to 3. And right now, every single morning when I'm doing my search parameters for myself and my clients, I'm noticing a lot of coming soon properties. And spring is less than 3 weeks away, and that's going to cause more sellers into the market as well. Any and all questions, guys? We got 6 people in here. Drop me something, any question you have about Charlotte, the real estate market, any surrounding areas, anything you could possibly think of. I'll do my best to possibly answer. There's a lot of people on here that watch these lives that have some really, really hard-hitting questions, and naturally, I'm not going to have all the answers, but I'll try my best. Amelia on one of my market reports bought my house when everyone was scared to buy at 8%. Negotiated a good price knowing Charlotte is a growing market with people relocating from everywhere. Once I refi, I'll be good, and I know I'll have equity in the future. Let that baby simmer until the time is right to sell. And I responded to this comment. I love that comment. I tell people all the time, it's a very common question. Sasha, when should I buy? When's the right time to buy? When are the prices going to be this? If I had a crystal ball, I would probably be in the Maldives or something like that, permanently living in one of those little cocoons on the beach. Unfortunately, I don't. And I tell people the right time to buy is different for everybody. I've told you guys this. I'm buying my house this year. Right now we're in a townhouse. I'm going to be renting this townhouse out. I'm not interested in selling it because I love the location, and every home I buy, I'm going to keep forever. But I'm going to buy this year. It's time. My wife and I, God willing, are hopefully wanting to start a family sometime soon. This little dog here wants a backyard and all that stuff. So I'm personally going to buy this year. I don't know if it's going to be next week, next month, in 6 months, towards the end of the year, whenever the right property comes up for me. And that's a decision everybody needs to make for themselves. So many people listen to others, the people that don't even know what they're talking about, or whatever the case is, and it's very tough. There's so much stuff, so much information going on out here. At the end of the day, you need to do what's right for you when it's right for you. That's really all I can say, and that's the case for everything and anything. It's a little bit of a generic answer, but the reason it is generic is because it's true. Mia Jackson, can you talk about How Charlotte program? So How Charlotte was very, very popular, I would say roughly 3 to 4 years ago, before the market got all crazy. So essentially what How Charlotte is if you're in a specific tax bracket, they will help you with down payment assistance. It's just like a down payment assistance program, and they have different brackets based on how much yearly income you make, in order to help you buy a house. So the Charlotte program, the down payment assistance programs during the madness of 2020 up until about 8 months ago, you really didn't see it that often. The reason you didn't see it that often, because everybody that was buying a home during that kind of time was buying cash and or using a conventional loan. You barely even saw FHA loans or VA loans, and you definitely didn't see these How Charlotte programs and first-time homebuyer programs. Reason being, they take long. Usually closing is typically roughly about 30 days or so. These programs can take 45, 50 days, 60 days. You need to take a bunch of courses, and they do their own inspection. And their own inspections are super weird. If an inspector goes to the house, I've seen them fail a home essentially off of like a kick plate at a door. underneath your front door or something, there's like a kick plate. And if there's not a kick plate there, if the kick plate's loose, the inspector would like flag it and say, hey, you have to fix this right now, or we're not going to give you a loan to buy this house. So it's been absolutely ridiculous. And right now, if you go on their website, there's brackets, and I believe the limit right now for using House Charlotte is roughly about $300,000. And the median price point in Charlotte right now is $375,000. So, and a lot of stuff, under that price point, it's tough to find stuff in good condition. So it's potentially an uphill battle for some of these down payment assistance programs and House Charlotte. But don't let it fool you. The down payment assistance, they'll give you maybe 10, 15, $20,000. They're not just going to give you that money. You're going to pay that back. So you have one loan for the house. Your second loan is for the down payment assistance program. And you have to live in the home for a certain amount of years for them to essentially give you that money like it looks, at face value. But at the end of the day, you always have to pay that money back. So if you're someone thinking about using House Charlotte or a down payment assistance program, my advice to you is save up as much money as you possibly can and put yourself in a position where you can afford to put down, 3 to 5%, pay for closing costs and be comfortable. And on top of that, if you want to use this House Charlotte program because you want to keep more money in your pocket, then 100% do so. But just put yourself in a position where you don't necessarily need to rely on these programs in order for you to buy a home. We'll see how this plays out if their limits happen to go up and things like that. But it's a lot of people get it misconstrued. They think that these programs are just going to give them 10, 15, $20,000 to pay for their down payment and closing costs. But there's a lot you need to read the fine print. Check out the website charlotte.gov. House Charlotte. Last name is Petrov. Rates back to 7%. Let's see how this goes. So this was a comment in response to the market report when the rates were like in the high fives, and literally a couple days later, rates jumped back up to the low sevens. It's absolutely crazy how much the power the Federal Reserve, holds. They can literally do anything they want to do. Rafe, how is inventory level in Charlotte? Does it look like it's going to increase through the summer? Rafe, so right now we're at 1.5 months of inventory. So really quick, just to break it down, 1.5 months of inventory means that if nobody decided to list their house, and we currently have 1.5 months of inventory, within 1.5 months, there would be no houses left for sale if the buyers keep buying at the rate they are. I personally, so we're double the amount of inventory that we had last year. So that's good news. We're double the amount of inventory that we had last year. I think we're going to double what we have now. So I think by the summertime, not sure to be honest with you when, maybe peak season, July, August, I think we're going to have 3 months of inventory. So it's still going to double. I see certain things already, but like I said, every single day I'm seeing like a new news article, a new economist said this, said that. So it's literally pulling you in all directions. And like I said, if the rates happen to come down, a lot more buyers would be in the market, and I think a lot more sellers would feel comfortable listing their house because they can still sell their house and buy a new one with the current rate. It's just crazy how much power they have over the real estate market. It's it's insane. But I think inventory is going to double. I see that, but don't let that fool you. That's going to be heading more towards a buyer's market. But it's, even if we have 3 months of inventory, that's still essentially considered a seller's market. I want to be at 4 to 5 months, 4 to 6 months of inventory. Rafe, any information about the new home development inventory and permits, please? I don't pull the new development. I don't pull any of that information. Usually when I'm in an area and I see new construction, then after that point I research it. I know I recently worked with Lennar. I just recently had a closing with Lennar, and the builder, Lennar, is looking to build roughly 70,000 new homes in the North Carolina area, and a lot of those are going to be allocated in Charlotte. I don't know exactly where. So as far as the permits and stuff like that goes, it's good to kind of, I guess, keep an eye on, but I don't take anything serious as when it comes to building unless I see them starting to clear out dirt. When they start to clear out dirt, then you know that houses are coming pretty soon. Fazul, what do you think about the mixed house residential and commercial mixed use development in Harrisburg called Farmington? Let's see. I haven't even heard about it. Farmington, Harrisburg. Let's see. Okay, it's a master plan community, so it looks like it's gonna probably take a while. Oh man. So very good question. I'm glad you let me know about this community, but just looking at it, 185 acres, 600 plus homes, 275,000 square feet of commercial space. I mean, this community is going to take years. It's going to take a while. So it's Taylor Morrison, Tri Point, and Woodfield Luxury Apartments. It looks really nice. This community looks really nice. Right off Rocky River Road and 485. Okay. Right next to Brookdale Village, Atrium Health. Like I said, I don't know too much about this community. I like these builders. So it looks like townhomes, single family homes. I think it's great. Harrisburg, I mentioned this a bunch of times when I first got started in real estate. Harrisburg was one of those amazing areas where you can buy a beautiful single family home for, $300,000. And now if you want, a single family home in Harrisburg, 4 bedrooms, 2,000 square feet plus, you're looking at probably a minimum of 500 to 550. That might even be nice. So I'm hoping that this, Farmington, I'm hoping that it's going to bring a little bit more affordability. But my friend, we got a long while before they build that. It's 185 acres, 600 plus homes. We're looking at a long time, but I love it. Harrisburg is going to be an area that's going to continue to grow. There's so much space. People love it there. Great schools. A lot of families kind of moving in that area. You're located off of 485 and Rocky River Road, which is your main road. So, I mean, great for commuting. This development is just it's quite a bit a ways away. Ali, hi Sasha, seen your old video, top 5 reasons to move to Indian Trail. What does the future look like for Indian Trail? The future for Indian Trail, my friend, looks bright. It's a ton of growth has been happening over there for these last 5 years. And it's going to continue to do so. You're located just outside of Matthews. So a lot of people do like Matthews. It's obviously one of my favorite areas. I live right here on the border. So Matthews is more expensive, So an alternative to potentially Matthews is just going slightly outside of Matthews and getting into Indian Trail. A ton of stuff happening there. The future definitely looks bright for Indian Trail. And the light rail is many years away, 10 to 15 years away, but there were talks about the light rail extending to Indian Trail, which would do a lot for it. And I posted on my Instagram. I literally, it was such a beautiful, it was like 75 degrees and sunny like 2 days ago, and I went to Indian Trail. I drove to Indian Trail. It was about a 15-minute drive for me. They have like this outdoor gym area, and I went to go work out there, and it was really nice. A lot of younger people over there in that area. There's a good mix. There's a ton of stuff going on over there as far as, the restaurants. A lot of the stuff is chain restaurants and stuff like that, unfortunately. But kind of in these smaller plazas, you're seeing some like mom and pop shops and things like that pop up. But a lot of young professionals over there. I like the location. I think the future looks bright for Indian Trail for sure. And especially the bang for your buck. You can get some really nice real estate out there for the money when you compare it to some areas that are close to Indian Trail as well. Mountain Vang, hey, so with the high interest rate right now, is it good to buy now or wait to see what next year will bring? So I went on a little bit of a rant with this earlier. You need to buy when the time is right for you. Cliche answer, but it's that reason because it's true. Whenever you feel is the right time for you, depending on what you're looking for, if you're starting to have kids, if you think it's the right time to settle in, if you're going to be here for a long time, long term, there's just nothing to worry about as far as prices goes, guys. It's funny to me. I look at everything long term. I tell people, if you buy something, do not buy it unless your intention is to have it for a minimum of 5 years. A minimum of 5 years. Some people will tell you, 3. I say 5. But if you're holding it for long term, you have absolutely nothing to worry about. And how's your job stability? How's the monthly payment for you? It's tough when I hear somebody say we want to wait. I spoke to people back in 2017 and 18 that told me at that time that they're going to wait for the market to correct, the house prices to come down. And look what happened now. The prices literally, almost doubled, in certain areas since 2017 and 2018. So it's tough. At the end of the day, like I said, do what's right for you. Nobody knows, nobody can control what's going to happen with the market. I think it's going to slow down. I think we're going to see a price correction. It's not going to be a massive price correction like some of these people think it is, but I do think 10 to 20% down from our all-time highs. We got 12 people in here, guys. Hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, and if you don't mind, drop me some questions. So Chad said, we lost an offer on a home in Huntersville, a price increase of 200,000, built in 2021. It was insane. How are people able to afford this? It's nuts. Thank you for your content. Really helpful. We lost a price increase of 200,000. It's crazy. I have seen some listings that people, bought a house a year or two ago. Some of them, they barely did anything, and they're putting them back on the market for like 100, 200 grand more, which is absolutely insane. I completely understand if you renovated it and did work and put the money into it, like I know some people have, but that's a new build. That's very interesting. Send me, if you don't mind, if you don't have a question in the comments, let me know what type of videos you guys would like to see from me. Is it neighborhood tours? I don't want to do house tours. I'm not really interested in doing house tours. Would you guys like to see neighborhood tours like I've done a ton? And Yazid said, what do you think about Mint Hill? Yazid, my parents live in Mint Hill. They love it. They've been there, I believe, 8 years now. And they love the Mint Hill area. So it's honestly, it's all good things. They're doing a lot. The first brewery is coming to downtown Mint Hill area, so that's going to cause a little bit of a spike in real estate. Just kidding, but maybe I'm not. But I actually made a video on Mint Hill, so go to my channel, go to videos, and check out the Mint Hill video. I like it. It's in a great location, in my opinion, close to 485, right next to Matthews. Depending on where you are, you're looking at about a 25 to 30-minute drive. Like I said, depending on where you are. So I like Mint Hill. My parents live there, and I tell people all the time as far as areas goes. You know what I mean? I wouldn't recommend somebody live somewhere where I personally wouldn't live, and or my parents. It's a big deal to me that people love the area they're in. Rafe, neighborhood tours are very interesting. I appreciate the feedback. I made one on Cotswold, which is absolutely one of my favorite areas in Charlotte, and people seem to like it and things like that. So I'll do some more neighborhood tours. I'd love to get my drone in the air, but it's hilarious. You would not believe the looks you get, being in a neighborhood or something like that and filming, with my phone or with my camera. People just look at you like you're crazy. So it's it's funny, especially when I got the drone in the air. Who knows what people think, but it's funny. I guess the neighborhood's safe because you got the neighborhood Karens walking around and things like that. Nicholas Trusty said, I think Q2 and Q3 of 23 will be a big buying opportunity. Let's see. I know some people. I know some people that have been in the real estate industry a very long time, and they think that we already hit the bottom. I don't think so, but some people do. Rafe, is there any specific zip coded neighborhoods to avoid crime and poverty? So honestly, I'll direct you to. I don't even like doing it, but the crime stats. Go on the crime stats and check out neighborhoods, but some of those aren't. I mean, they're not even accurate. Myers Park is so close to Uptown that if you look up crime stats in Myers Park, it might be like higher than you would think it was, just because they grouped kind of those areas in together. But yeah, I mean, look at the crime rates. The best thing you can possibly ever do if you're, thinking about a neighborhood is literally go there and drive around. What do the neighbors' houses look like? Do the houses look like they're well maintained? Is there a ton of stuff going on? Does somebody have, 15 cars in the driveway? Are they running a mechanic shop, out of their home? All of this stuff is something to take into consideration. When I'm showing houses to some of my clients that don't have the exact area dialed in exactly where they want to be, and we happen to go look at a house, everything looks good. I tell them, hey, after we're done showing, come back here later today, whatever. Bring your dog over here, park your car, and just walk around the neighborhood. Talk to the neighbors. Neighbors are always out doing something, and just talk to the neighbors. Talking to neighbors is one of the best things. Heather and Josh, that I helped move from Charleston to Cotswold, I talked to their neighbor. We looked at their house maybe 2 or 3 times or so before they wanted to, make the decision to move forward. And I saw the neighbor and I just started talking to the neighbor, and he's like, hey, we've been here over 10 years now. He's like, we actually lived in that apartment complex right there. And then when it was time for us to buy and we saw a home for sale, we bought this one. So they literally, moved, from this apartment complex to this home that's like, less than 100 yards away. And that is always a very, very big telling thing about a neighborhood. If somebody already lives in the neighborhood, but they're just looking to upgrade for bigger space and they stay in that neighborhood, it means a lot. And your neighbors, people that live in the neighborhood, will tell you everything you want to hear about it. They'll tell you about the schools, they'll tell you about the any and all type of crime that has ever happened and things like that. Best thing you can do in regards to a neighborhood and in regards to safety is go walk your dog in the neighborhood, go for a run, just walk around, just get in it and talk to the neighbors, and obviously look at the homes around. If a majority of the homes are well maintained, well taken care of, that is a very good sign. Yazid, Century Communities. Let me see. Yazid, are you talking about the Century Communities? I don't know if that one's in Mint Hill. The one off Rocky River Road, that one's considered Charlotte. I believe they have another one near downtown, which I think is awesome. So they have these townhouses right next to downtown Mint Hill, which I'm surprised they're like not sold out, to be honest with you. They're priced pretty competitively. I think they're the high threes, low fours. But very nice townhouses. You can walk to the coffee shop, you can walk to the bar, you can walk to a ton of stuff over there. So I'm very surprised. It's the Gatsby by Century Communities. Now, Fazid, I don't know if that's the community you were talking about or not, but if it is, I like it. I really do. I tried to get in there the other day actually, but the of course the representative for the community was out to lunch, so but now she's been texting me and stuff. I just wanted to get in there just to kind of take a look at the community. Fazid, I'm pulling it up now. Give me 1 second over here. Yeah, so the Gatsby by Century Communities. Yeah. Oh, so yeah, McLuhan Village is right there. It looks like it's probably off of True Light Church Road. I like that. I like that community. Location wise, you have everything you need. Publix, Harris Teeter, everything downtown Mint Hill has to offer. You have Veterans Memorial Park, 485 Highway, 218, 30-minute, 25 to 30-minute drive to Uptown. I like that community. It's literally the same as the townhouse community, but if you just wanted a single family home versus a townhome. Mr. Intake, I'm assuming you're a car guy. Love it. What do you think of the Arsley area? Is it good? I haven't been there for a while, but from the last time I was there, I like it. There's a lot of stuff going on, a lot of traffic. I believe the main road is Tryon, so a lot of traffic and things like that. But a lot of younger people kind of in that area. I like it. I don't see too much kind of like I said, it's been a little while since I've been there. In Arsley, in the shopping plaza, there's a really cool bar over there where they have like this big outdoor seating area and a bowling alley and stuff like that. I was there. It's been a couple years since I've been over there. I don't find myself on that part of town too often, but I like it. I like it, unless something's changed, in the last 2 3 years, but I doubt it because they're building a lot over there. Saquon, it has been forever. We first spoke literally maybe 2 years ago. I don't want to say 3 years, but we spoke maybe 2 years ago. I remember when you first reached out to me. If you're purchasing a home and also need to purchase a new vehicle, should you wait until the house is closed before? Yes, 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 yes. Do not make any big purchases, especially a car, before you buy a house. A car payment is obviously depending on what you get, three, four, five, six, seven, $800 a month, which can throw off your debt to income ratio, which is what the lenders look at. They see how much debt you have and they see how much money you make. So if you go and buy a car, 30, 40, $50,000, and your monthly payment is five, six, $700, you can literally not be able to afford a home because you bought a new car. Do not buy a car before your house. Please don't do it. If you're somebody that like you have a ton of money and you can buy a car, it's not going to offset anything, then feel free to do so. I would err on the side of caution and not do it until you have closed on your home. The bank literally only cares about that you're, financially good to make your payments before closing. After you close on the house, they're never going to call you unless you don't make your payments. But funny story, I was at the attorney's office and he was telling me a story about a guy. It was a guy, he was buying a very expensive house. The guy said it was like over $2 million, $2 million in the South Park area. And they were at the attorney's office signing the paperwork. And the guy was talking about how he just bought a brand new car while the lender was there. And the lender's like, "What?" And they had to cancel the closing for that day because this guy bought a car right before he was supposed to close on this $2 million+ home. He almost lost that house because he said that at closing, and they just cut it. They cut the closing. Um, if you're buying a $2 million home, you're financially stable. And the attorney said the guy was back a week later. He ended up having to pay for the car in all cash in order to close on the home. So it was a nice car. I want to say it was something like a, Aston Martin or something like that. But the attorney was like, yeah, the guy stroked a check for like $150,000 the next week and then bought the house, a couple days later. So long story short, you know how I can drag this stuff out. Buy a house, buy the car afterwards. Say kind of, yeah, I remember you. Yeah, yeah, we talked a bunch, but yeah, it's definitely been 2 years. Yes, the story was wild. I couldn't believe it. I couldn't believe it. But I mean, that's very impressive. You know what I mean? You're buying a $2+ million house. The lender says, "Whoa, whoa, whoa, we can't close on this home," and then this guy writes a check for 150, $1,000 plus on a brand new car you just wrote, and then buys the house a couple days later. Very motivational. Yeah, car guy. I live in Matthews right now, thinking of heading to Arsley for something new. Keep it up. I got recommendations from your channel a lot. Mr. Intake, I appreciate that, man. Thank you for letting me know it. Anytime somebody recommends my channel and or me to use them as a realtor or whatever the case, it's amazing. I'm very much a car guy, man. I'm very much a car guy. I was recently looking at. I live pretty close to Tactical Fleet. I'm sure you heard of them if you're a car guy, man, they have a Ferrari SF90. I believe it's in the showroom for like $800,000. And I was thinking about it the other day. Like, I live 5 minutes away from a Ferrari SF90. But that's neither here nor there, man. But yeah, I think it sounds like you might be like a younger guy. I think you'll like the Arsley area. Mountain Vlog, if you're looking to buy a house, should you only put down your income or both you and your wife's income? That depends. So the biggest factor, is going to be your lender. Your lender is the one that you really want to talk to, and they'll guide you in the best direction possible. If your plan is to potentially, if one person can get approved, that might be a good way to go. And let me see. And you said your wife, so you guys are legally married, so her name is going to be on the deed anyway. But it might be a good idea if you're able to get approved to just put one of your guys' names on it. That way, maybe in 2, 3, 5 years, like if it's not like a long time, but when you decide to buy a new house, that new house you can put, under the other person's name. And then you could put, you can start to kind of do that. So if you're able to, it might not be a bad idea to do one. For the house my wife and I want to buy it right now, we're using my wife's income. I keep looking at stuff that's $100,000 over my price range. So if we do something like that, we'll have to combine our income. But that's kind of what we plan on doing. This townhouse here, we put it under my income. The home we buy this year, it's going to be under her income. But I plan on owning multiple properties. I plan on I'm going to build my real estate portfolio. So I'm going to own a lot of homes, and they're going to be probably in both of our names. That's probably what the bank will need. But reach out to me if you want a lender recommendation, and the lender's going to tell you what the best option is. You know what I mean? The lenders I work with are very similar, to me, as being very very upfront with you and just telling you what it is. And they'll tell you the pros and cons of using both your names and or one name, and what might be the best option. One of you might have a better credit score than the other, so maybe your payment might be a little bit lower, maybe your interest rate might be a little bit lower. So feel free to reach out to me if you want one of those lenders. I can send you an email with their information. We got 12 people on here. I hope all 12 of you guys are subscribed. I'd really appreciate that. And while you're in here, I asked for this a little bit earlier, but if there's any type of videos that you might find helpful, interesting, please let me know in the comments. Like I said, I want to start shooting a lot more videos that I'm doing. I've just been so caught up with a bunch of stuff, obviously work stuff. But feel free to leave me a comment what type of videos you'd like to see. I'd really like to do some deep dives, maybe in some neighborhoods and things like that, but I'm not sure. I'm a numbers guy when it comes to real estate. I did horrible in math my entire life, but when it comes to real estate, I'm a numbers guy, and I love looking at the trajectory, what potential home values could be in the next 5 to 10 years, the growth in the area and stuff like that. I just don't know if that's the type of videos that other people would want to see, you know? Any other questions, guys? I'm on here for you. We're coming up on 56 minutes so far. But if you have a question, as you guys know, you can always call, text, or email me if you need something, more specific to you. And Rafe, a lender is not supposed to be informed if someone wants to live with roommates to soften the mortgage payment. Again, if you talk to my lenders and you say that, it's not something they're gonna hold against you. But it honestly doesn't matter if you tell them or don't. Just because at the end of the day, you need to get pre-approved for the house, and you're having a roommate or something like that isn't gonna change that. It's not gonna change that. Yeah, like I said, the bank does not care. You know what I mean? The bank does not care at all. Oh, the bank doesn't care what you do with the house after you close, as long as you make your payments. So, yeah, there's so many young people in the Charlotte area that are doing that. They're pre-approved to buy a house for $400,000. They go buy a house in the university area, and then literally the next week after closing on their home, they go on the Facebook page and say, "Hey guys, I'm looking for a roommate. I have a bedroom and a private bathroom and all that stuff." So, yeah, it doesn't matter. Somebody's gonna have to get approved for the house in the first place. Joel, I'll keep watching your vids until it is my move to Charlotte, stuck in Miami for at least another 1.5 to 2 years. Joel, I'm so sad for you, man. Being stuck in Miami, it sounds like an absolute nightmare. It sounds like an absolute. I would hate for that to happen to me. I'm just kidding, man. I know. I know you've probably been in Miami for a while, so you're looking for a change. I'd love to live in Miami for like a year or something like that. I don't know if that's my type of style, but I'd love to kind of experience it. Um, you know. Joel, it's $3,200 a rent for a 3 bedroom. I could see why you want to come here for sure. Yeah, I mean 3,200 for a 3-2. You can probably, yeah, I mean you can get a nice house for that. You can get a nice house for that. Say Khan, have you seen a lot of properties where there's a courtyard built into the middle of a home in North Carolina in the Charlotte area? Um, Not a lot. I haven't seen a lot. I've seen a couple. One house I looked at for myself had this like little courtyard thing right off of the living room, like inside the house. It was outdoor, but it was indoor. It had a jacuzzi and a sauna. I posted it when I went to go look at it on my Instagram, QC home group. Make sure you follow. And but yeah, there's not a lot. There's not a lot. Obviously, it depends on price range too. But from what I've seen, no, there's not a lot. That's more of a custom feature, to be honest with you. Rafe, buying a house in Charlotte or Miami, pros and cons. Honestly, that is a good one. I just don't like to make videos kind of comparing Charlotte with another city. It's easy for me to talk about Charlotte because I live here. I know these neighborhoods. I know a ton of people that live here that I've helped, move and buy homes that have been there for a while and things like that. But if I knew what it's like to live in Miami, I can easily make the comparison because I live there. I know the day-to-day life. I can make a video comparison between Charlotte and Cleveland, Ohio, because that's where, I lived in Cleveland. But there's no comparison there. You know what I mean? Charlotte is leaps and bounds better, in my opinion. I mean, leaps and bounds better than Cleveland, Ohio. And if I go by the stats, I look at some of these stats and they're wrong. Like right now, if you type in median home price in Charlotte, you're probably going to get an article that was written 2 to 3 years ago, and they're going to tell you that the median home price in Charlotte is 250,000. So even some of these stats that these places have, it's hard to do a comparison like that. Joel, the Miami market is horrendous unless you have very deep pockets. Don't even bother. Joel, so I'm in a real estate group and I know an agent that's in Miami, and she's a very good agent. Multi-million dollar homes she deals with, multi-million dollar condos she deals with. And when the market was like at its peak going crazy, she was in the real estate group, and we were talking, and she's like, what the hell is going on? Like, what do these people know? Like, these people that are like cash, they're buying homes and condos for multi millions of dollars in cash. And she's like, what is going on? Like, why is so much money being put, in these properties? What do these people know that I don't know? And she was like freaked out. And these are her clients. So she's selling multi million dollar, properties and stuff. But she was telling us, she's like, this is weird. Like, she's like, I never even knew people had this much money. She's like, I just never knew people had this much money to be doing this. And it's crazy. When I heard that, I'm like, well, there's a lot of money in Charlotte. Don't get me wrong, but compared to Miami, no. There's so many people that have been moving to Florida these last couple years, and a lot of very wealthy people that are just, it's crazy. I'd love to just hang out with the person that's able to afford multi-million dollar home and pay for it in cash. Because if you're doing that, I mean, maybe there's a tax benefit and stuff that I don't know. But everyone from New York City, deep pockets, came here in droves during the pandemic, displaced everyone. Also, many Silicon Valley startups are here and brought all those high. That's 100% true, man. A lot of that, a lot of those people did come here. So it's just crazy. It's just crazy. It's amazing. It's honestly amazing. Good on them for, putting themselves in a position to be able to buy multi-million dollar homes for cash. But this agent was literally like freaked out. She's like, people are buying, property 10, 15, 20, 30 million dollars in cash. And it's like, it's crazy. It's insane. Like, I can't even, I wish somebody would call me and say that. I probably would be speechless. Hey, Sasha, I want to spend $30 million at a place in Charlotte. Um, I, I don't even think we have anything like at that price. You know what I mean? But yeah, I'd be speechless. That'd be insane. I'd be sleeping over in the guest bedroom or something. All right, guys, we've been on here here for an hour and 3 minutes. Hit the subscribe button, hit the like button, call, text, email me anytime. All my contact information is here and down below. The lives are every first Thursday of the month, so reach out to me on here. One last question from Petrov. Charlotte is amazing, but price is not worth it now. They'll be coming down soon with the rates back over 7%. I agree. I think the prices are going to be coming down 10 to 20%. I just don't know when, and it's taking a very long time because the market is still very, very strong right now. And as to what Joe said, there's a lot of money that's been coming here. People from California, New York, New Jersey, Chicago, people from Florida with money, people from places like Colorado. Colorado's an expensive market. They come here. So there's a lot of money in Charlotte. I still think the prices will come down a little bit slow and steady, but some of these people that think they're going to come down 40, 50%, not going to happen. But they will come down. I think it's speculation. I read an article today. Some economists are projecting that the home prices will be up roughly 23 to 24% in the next 5 years, but we'll see. Hit the subscribe button, hit the like button. I'll catch you on the next one. Take care.